So this video will describe how to make another simple leaflet, and this is described as a single fold leaflet. Again, I'm going to set out the layout in InDesign. This time I'm going to go in and change the preferences so that we're working in millimeters. So it's, if you go up to the InDesign drop-down menu, select Preferences, and then ask for Units and Increments. You see you have all the preferences here anyway, and these are just global controls. So what I need to check is that we are working in millimeters. And I'm going to say OK to that. And then I'm going to set up a new document. Now this time I'm going to work again for print. Again, we need 2 pages. We need a front and back. And we require an A4 paper. This is to create an A5 folded leaflet. I'm going to work landscape so that I have the fold in the middle. And this time we need a little bit of ingenuity. We want to work with 2 columns. This is going to help us with the guides, margins, and the gutter. So if I make 2 columns, what I can do, if I work this out correctly, then I can create margins within this document that will just help me to plan the document. And the way I do that is think about what margin I want here. Well, that's a bit big for my single fold. I'm going to say I want, it's about 1/4 inch again. So it's about half of this. Let's say a guide of about 6 millimeters. You can change this if you would like more of a guide. And remember, this is only a guide. But if I know that this is 6 millimeters over here and 6 millimeters over here, then I know the guide that I need for inside has got to be 6 for this side and 6 for this side, so that makes 12. Okay, so if I make the gutter 12, then I can give myself a nice guide. I'm also going to add a bleed, of course, 3 to 5 millimeter bleed, and I'm going to say OK to that, except I want to untick facing pages. And that means I have a little document like this. Now, in addition, what I might want to do is to bring in a guide to just say where that middle is. So I'm just pulling it in from the rulers and placing it in the center. So you can either do this on each individual page. As you can see, it's not affecting the page underneath. Or you can look at your windows, select pages, and select your A master. So if I double click on the A master, you'll now see my documents disappeared, and I'm now in the A master, which governs this A page and governs this A page. And if I place a guide in the middle, then when I go back to these pages, and all you need to do is to come in and out of the A master and your actual pages, is to double click them in the pages panel. You'll see it's applied the guide to both pages. Now, of course, none of these guides actually print, so what you need to do from now on in is use your layers, organize your layers into relevant areas. Could be images, could be color, could be text, and each page that I'm in, the layers will reflect what sits on that page. The first thing I think you should do is just to create a layer for your own guides. And by that, what I mean is just indicate what is on each page so that you never get lost. So if this is going to be my front cover, and I need to think about in terms of designing where my inside front cover will be. And in fact, you might think it's here, but it's actually going to be in here. If you imagine opening this leaflet up from here, the next page sits over here. So that's why just so that you can orientate yourself, and just write yourself a set of directions. So this is front inside. This will be your back. And then over here will be your back inside. So when I'm now set about designing this, if I double click this page 1, I just want you to notice that the only two pieces of text that I can see at the moment are these two text frames. And then if I double click into page 2, you can only see these two text frames. And that's because if you had a huge document, you wouldn't want to see everything that sits inside the document. But what you do need to be clear about is to be in control of your layers. So I'm now going to lock this. I can turn it off when I don't need it. You might want to print a dummy for yourself, and you might want to put some colours in right out to the bleed so that you can see each individual page. But for all intents and purposes, you can now set about designing your single fold leaflet.